everyone, I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You, and I'm your host of the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Here's where we talk about the connection between creativity and healing by interviewing amazing creatives, spectacular healers, and inspiring people who have used creativity in their healing. What does it mean to be creative? What is creativity? You don't have to write a best-selling book or paint a masterpiece or even play in a rock band. Creativity is in everything that we do, in the ways we think, in the way we run a business. In our everyday lives, we are creative all the time. Let's talk about how we are creative and how creativity helps us heal mentally, physically, and emotionally, right now on the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Hi everyone, Larissa Russell of Creative You, and welcome back to the Creative Soul Healing Podcast. Today I have with me Cherie Phillips. Cherie was one of our presenters for the second annual Loving, Healing, Creating Summit that we ran February 2nd through 14th. She shared with us a wonderful learning on emotions and color. And if you missed that, you'll want to go back and check it out. You can still get access to that summit at www.creativeu, that's the letter U.ca. So Cherie Phillips is a self-taught artist and therapeutic art coach, helping women to find healing, hope, and faith through the process of art. She combines the ancient practice of Reiki with healing art projects to help women heal from past traumas and present hurts. Cherie's love is to host healing art retreats where women and girls are pampered and provided a safe place to open up and rediscover their true, authentic selves. Sounds very familiar because I do very similar things. So welcome, Cherie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad I found you. I think that's really, when I love the internet for that, right? Finding like-minded people. So that's so great. So can you share some of your story and your path that's brought you to do what you do?
I've always been an artist. I've always done art, and I have been surrounded by artistic people my whole life. But I kind of lost a lot of that when I was married and had children, and I became a kindergarten teacher. So a lot of myself was being taken away, but not being replenished. And then trauma hit my life. And that is when I had to take a step back and find myself again, which was really great, actually. I went back into doing art and found that it was an amazing tool for healing. I wanted to go to an art therapist, but I couldn't afford it. So I kind of just tried things on my own. And once I saw all that it could do for me, I wanted to help other people with doing creative things. So I was looking into being an art therapist myself, but found out that you need to have a master's in art and a master's in therapy. So at my age, there was no way I could do that. I had 2 kids in college at the time, and I would be 60 before, not 60, I'd be probably 90 before I actually got that done. So I just kept searching online, and I found this woman named Lonnie Kent, and she is a therapeutic art facilitator. And so I looked into that, and that's how I became a coach. And she's taught me a lot along the way also.
Yeah. I think it's so important. I myself have a psychology background, but then we have to have that master's in art therapy here as well to do that. So I do very much the same thing because it helped me, right?
Yes.
The healing aspect of creativity helped me so much. I just built my practice around that,
right,
and was able to help so many other people because of that, right? Whereas
yes, and you can help people that don't actually need a therapist, that just need healing. Like we all need healing on a daily basis. I think through our journey of life, we come across things that we need healing from. But if somebody is in the need of having a therapist, they can actually take what they're learning, their artwork, with them, and it will open up a lot, I think, for the therapist.
Yes. Yeah. I've had that too with a lot of my clients, right? And they'll have a therapist and myself, and then the crossover so that we can work on the same things. It's fascinating. I just love what I do as well. I think you do as well from the sounds of it.
Yes.
So like you touched on this a little bit, but what does healing with creativity mean to you?
I think Healing with creativity is actually life for me. Without creativity, I am like an empty box. And when you put creativity in me, I just become full and I feel like I'm overflowing with colors and shapes and just great things. I think for other people, they don't really understand that you can just gain so much from using creativity for healing. I don't know really what to say, just that it's really life for me. It's how I have to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And I find so many people that do the work we do, that's exactly it. It's a need, right? It's a need.
It is
You have to have it.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you think there's a driving force that inspires you to do what you do?
I think the driving force really is for myself to be fulfilled, but also I love helping other people. I love seeing changes in people's lives, and I love that I can be a part of that. Hearing, after someone's come to my retreat, one girl said that she hadn't talked to her dad for 3 years, and now she was talking to her dad, and like things like that really just fill me up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. The healing aspect of the work that you do, is there any one thing that inspires you in that work?
Well, a lot of songs actually inspire me, and words, I think a lot, and just feelings in general. When I'm feeling something, or if I hear a song, some little phrase in the song will just catch me and I'll get a picture in my head, and I have to go and put it down on canvas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting you say that. I think about my kids have tattoos of like song lyrics or pictures that they've created based on songs. They're very inspired by music. My kids are. Yeah.
And that was something that I learned too in all this healing process, was how much music is just so powerful, and it really can get deep in, which is a creative outlet, really.
Yeah.
I'm not musical in any way, but it does help me.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand the theory of that. I have Asperger's, so music really can be not great for me. It distracts very easily for me, but I know my kids, like, it's so important for whatever emotion they're in. They'll have the music for that, whatever, that sort of thing. So I do use it in some of my work, but it's not my go-to because it's not mine, right? It's not my thing that I do, but yeah, absolutely. So as a creative and a healer, what are your thoughts on monetizing healing and or creative works? I know there's a big sway on what people think on that, and I'm just curious about your opinion.
Well, my mind sways constantly on that because I hate charging for things, but I do also think that when I was going through my healing process, I did use a lot of things that were, didn't cost anything, but I did pay for things also. And, we didn't, when we got our trauma, we didn't have to pay for that. We got that. So it just, to me, we shouldn't have to pay for healing. But just like if you needed to fix something in your house, you go to the store to get a tool. And that's what art and all these healing processes, that's what they are. They're tools. And it's not something that you just use that one time that you pay for it. It's something that you can utilize in your life every single day over and over again. So I feel like it's certainly worth every penny that you spend on it.
Yeah. And there's always this sort of, we're helping people, we shouldn't charge for that. But there's also this energy exchange of money, right? And yes, you would pay to have your car fixed. Would you not pay for your own health? Right. And so, there's a different ideas on it. So I'm always interested what people think.
It is, we are using our time and things that we've learned, the time that we've put into it in the past, and also the time that we're giving as we're helping. So just like, you do, somebody goes out for a job, they get paid. So, I would rather not, but
I can't do what I do unless I get paid, right?
Exactly.
I do a lot of free things because I want to help people, but then I also need to pay my bills. So.
Right. But it is rewarding. They get so much out of it. It's life-changing sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so what is the creative healing modality you use the most for yourself?
Well, I do a lot of mixed media as art projects that I put a lot of healing emotions in, I should say. But the thing that I use most as a healing tool would be my little project that I call Color Me, where, it's using watercolor and, it's using different colors and shapes or symbols to represent different things of what I'm feeling at that time. And that is the project that really got me through, and I still use it now. And it's when I'm doing my workshops and retreats, that's always the very first thing that we do. It's such a simple thing that anybody can do. They don't have to have any art tools or anything. So that's what I like the most. And I use watercolor a lot because to me, the watercolor just is like the emotions are flowing right out of you onto the paper. And it's so powerful that a lot of times I can do this project and get up and walk away. And I feel like I've left all of that emotion there on that paper. It's really, that's what I do the most.
I love that. I love that. Oh, that's great. And so is there something that you're proudest of that you've done in your life?
Well, what I'm the most proud of has nothing to do with art. It's actually that my 4 boys are grown adults. They're loving and kind and wonderful men. And I'm very proud of them.
You should be. Yes. That's a great accomplishment. I know I had teenage girls and there was times I didn't know that they were going to make it because I was going to kill them. They're now fully grown, kids of their own. And yes, I agree. It's as a parent, that's a great accomplishment and something to be proud of when they turn out kind and considerate and all of those things. Yeah.
Those teenage years are hard.
Yes. They were the worst, but but they grew out of it, by 25 or so, they grew out of it.
Right.
So if you could change one aspect of our society through your work, what would that be?
The thing that I would love to do is just help people know about the love of God. That would be the main thing that I would like to do, is just bring more God into the world, bring light, love through my work.
I think that healing and love and light is so important.
Yes.
Yeah. And have you ever struggled with imposter syndrome in your work? And if so, how have you gotten over it?
Yes, and probably every day. And I think, just getting out there and pushing through, that's how you just have to get over it. Just push through and know that what you're doing is really making a difference. And, just keep pushing through it.
Yeah. I agree. And I think the more you see the results, the less you have those feelings, right? But then you'll do something new and you're like, oh, should I be doing this? Should I?
Right. Or
and then you push through it.
Yeah. And then you have to charge somebody for it. And then you feel even like more of an imposter.
Yeah. And I think that's a common feeling that women have, right? And women in business and women, all of that. It's like, but I think it's important that we recognize our strengths and what we bring to the world. So, yeah. And do you have an inspirational quote that you live by?
Well, I don't really have a quote. I have a song though, and it's just a few words in a song, but that's always changing. I'm constantly changing with whatever I'm going through at that time. I'm always looking for something new. I mean, I can read to you what those words are if you want.
Absolutely.
The song is by Stephanie Gretzinger, and it says, if my heart could tell a story, if my life could sing a song, if I had a testimony, if I had anything at all, let my children tell their children, let this be their memory, that all my treasure was in heaven and you were everything to me. And that just means a lot to me, but basically, I want my life to count for something. I want when people to think of me when I'm either alive or dead, that they smile, that they know that I love them, that I was a true, authentic person. That's, so that's just what I'm working towards right now.
That's so important. Yeah, I can understand that. Beautiful. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we maybe haven't discussed today that our listeners need to know?
Well, there's a couple things. One thing, I just want people to understand, that you don't have to be creative or an artist to do therapeutic art. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. And that's the first thing I hear over and over again. I'm not creative, but you don't have to be creative at all. Color is for everybody. Shapes are for everybody. Doing therapeutic art doesn't mean you're gonna hang this on your wall, or it's, not gonna be this great, fantastic thing. It's a tool to heal. And it's really great because you can go back later and look at these again and see your progress.
You were talking about the, not that finished product of the art that hangs on the wall. And I talk about the process all the time, right? Yes. And when I'm doing videos and things, and often it's very childlike because you're digging into those past traumas, and a lot of them happened as a child. And so allowing yourself to just create from that place of emotion instead of that place of, oh, it needs to look a certain way is so important. So important.
It's so interesting that you mentioned that, because when I do my Color Me, the outline of the person that I use is actually an outline of a little girl, because that's like, I feel like that's who I am inside. Like that's my true self of who I was when I was a little girl. Like, that's just who I am. So it is so good to go back and deal with all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Helps us to move forward.
Yes,
sometimes we have to go backwards to move forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. And you referenced that Color Me a few times. That's the one that you did in the summit. So if people are still looking to sign up for the summit, they can do that. It has all the recordings there. But I want to thank you, Cherie, for being here. And to our listeners, we will see you again next week. And in the meantime, I wish for you amazingly creative days.
Thank you, Larissa.
Are you a daily journaler? Do you want more creativity in your day? We have 2 great creativity journals to start your day with. One for people who already have a journaling practice, and one for people who are new to journaling. Both are an amazing way to start your day. Both make the perfect gift for a person in your life. Check out Have an Amazingly Creative Day and How Do I Have an Amazingly Creative Day? Both currently available on Amazon. Click the link below to purchase yours now.